and welcome back to FPS Creator Classics, where we take a look at interesting and original games developed in FPS Creator. Today we're taking a look at a sci-fi horror game called Alpha Project, which was developed by Osborne, aka Heretic Studios. This is actually the second version of the game. It was released in 2011. The original version was released in 2010, and actually development kind of stems all the way back to sort of early 2009, so he was working on it for quite a while. And that's probably why this game earned the Best of the Best moniker, which was bestowed upon certain FPSC titles back in the day as a kind of a seal of quality. It's certainly quite well regarded within the community, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I have had a few issues getting it to run in the past. I've wanted to record this episode for quite a while now, but I've had some issues, mostly to do with the collision, and apparently that's linked to, for some reason, the screen shaders. So if you're having issues with getting your character to actually move and kind of collide with things in the right way, apparently if you open up this mod.ini file and change screen shaders to 0, then apparently that can solve the issue for some people. I'm not entirely sure why that is. So, Alpha Project, what can we say about this game? Well, I've got a little bit of flavor text here that was released alongside the game. This is from ModDB. Alpha Project is a sci-fi modern horror genre first-person shooter game. The game takes place in a not-so-far future where healthcare is controlled via private companies, hired by governments. You play through the eyes of James Hunt, the main protagonist. As you continue on in the game, you uncover the secrets and mysteries hidden from you. I mean, that doesn't give a lot away, it has to be said, but having already played this game before, I can tell you that it's got some undertones of Resident Evil. It reminds me a little bit of Doom 3 in places, and F.E.A.R. also, it has to be said as well. So, yeah, there's some good sort of inspirations going into this game. It comes with this launcher app, which is quite nice looking, and you can change some options here. So, got options to kind of change your keybinds and also some of your sort of post-processing effects. We're just going to leave those all on for now and hope that it runs, and we'll get straight into it. It's got quite a nice intro cinematic, this one, so we'll sit back and watch that as we load in.
Biotech Industries, an organisation known worldwide for its research into curing diseases no one thought possible, already curing some of the incurable diseases of the 21st century and promising further vaccinations for the deadly viruses that take thousands of lives. Biotech quickly gained the trust and the funding they needed from the United Kingdom and the United States. In 2012, they successfully found a cure for a number of diseases: acute myeloid leukemia, influenza A virus H5N1, cystic fibrosis and spherocytosis. This caused for them to be approved by NATO and access to what seems to be limitless resources. In 2016, they expanded to a number of branches all over the world. In 2019, they cured the common cold. In 2020, they began experimenting on chimpanzees to test to see if immunity passed through DNA. The test was successful. Specialising in genetic advancements, their goal was to extend the human immune system. They failed. Welcome to Biotech. Enjoy your stay.
What the hell happened? You've been gassed, and it knocked you out. You've been out for some time. The gas came in from the ventilation shafts. They must have flooded all of the rooms with it.
Why would they do that?
Something's gone wrong, James.
Oh shit. What's happened?
I don't know. I only work for Head of Security, remember? I'm not officially tied to biotech in any way. The only thing I know is that an experiment has gone loose. I heard it on a broadcast warning other staff about a breakout of some sort, but the channel's dead now. The transmission was located close to your position. I can't get access to any of the staff's comm channels except yours. Maybe you should go and find out what made it cut off.
Okay, I'll go see what's up.
Okay, so it's not a complicated opening cinematic, it's basically just text, but it's quite effective in giving a bit of context to this story. And one of the first things you'll notice is that we have a body, which I think was only made possible thanks to mods. By this point in FPSC's history, mods had started to make this sort of functionality a reality. And yeah, I mean, it's basic, but it works. And I think if we... Okay, maybe the jumping could be a little bit better, but we can crouch as well, so that's kind of cool. So, things to note about this, even just this opening room, is we've got some cool shader effects going on in the windows. We've got a very nicely designed HUD, all custom. Now, what is the use key for this game? I'm assuming it would be E? No, F? Ah, there we go. Sometimes it's difficult to judge. Now, I haven't modded the screen resolution here, so everything's going to look a little bit stretched for 16:9. Obviously, it was originally developed for 4:3. Hopefully that doesn't cause us too many issues. What have we got here? So, nice little objective marker here to tell us where to go. A few custom assets as well, like this keypad and a little bit of custom texturing on this screen, for instance. Just going back to that intro for a second. It's kind of weird playing games that sort of are set in the distant, or well, not so distant future, but are actually set in a year that has already happened, if that makes sense. I mean, we're in 2022 as of the date of recording. Particularly strange kind of hearing about a sort of a failed experiment in genetics and immunity, particularly in the wake of COVID, which obviously no one would have had any idea about back then, but almost makes it all the more prescient to play it now. So we can tell it's an FPSC game straight away because of the vent crawling, which is a staple for all FPSC games. I'm pretty much convinced that all FPSC games need to have at least 15% vent crawling.
James, over there on the table is a PDA. You can extract data from them with the access you have as security. Simply get close to the PDA, look at it, and press the use key to transfer. You can find a lot of important information from PDAs.
Oh, that's interesting. As we go up to the PDA, look how our kind of camera zooms in a little bit and we get the prompt. That's cool.
So, this is an audio log for Pete Baxter, September the 3rd, 2019. There's been some complaints of noises being heard in the classified sectors of the facility. I don't know what they're doing down there, but it doesn't sound pretty. There's been some reports of screaming. I'm sure it's just I'm hearing these things, but I'm hearing some strange noises from the ventilation shafts recently as well. It's definitely spooking some of us out. I'll make sure to take note if I see anything strange. End of log.
We were actually routed to the spot for some of that audio log, so I think that might be a running theme. To be honest, I'm just pleased I can actually run around this facility. I've had a lot of issues playing this game so far. Okay, well I obviously don't have a key code for that. Alrighty, lower facility. The smell in the air. Something isn't right about what's going on. You can feel the tension in the very walls. The lift comes to a stop, and you walk out into the lower section of the facility. So silent, so cold. Something is wrong, but what? Oh, but this feels a lot different. Kind of a basement type area.
Bravo. I'll be picking up some sort of life signs down there, but I'm gonna be the only one patrolling down here. Somebody playing a practical joke on me or something? Jack, is that you? Real free.
Okay, well, yeah, definitely getting the Doom 3 vibes with the audio logs and, okay, missing texture here, but that's fine. Right, what's waiting for us?
Shit. Gonna have to bash my way through.
I'm pleased we had that prompt, because I wouldn't have had any idea how to do that otherwise. What was that? Some quite weird post-processing effects going on that window, but that's fine. Okay, severed head and an arm. That's, yeah, something's not right.
What the hell's happened here?
Yeah, my thoughts precisely. So good sound design. Lots of little sound effects to creep you out. Okay, we do actually have a vent here. I wonder where that goes.
Just an office.
I can't see what's going on down there, so probably nothing. Can't seem to get past that door. Let's go into some vents. Something just died. I just heard the stock death sound effect for a character. What's that? Ah. Right, we have a gun. I feel a little bit easier now about wandering around. I don't suppose I can get up there yet, can I? Yeah. I'll either need to... Well, there's nothing to even stack. Perhaps I'll come back round to that vent at another point. So, level design is basic but effective. A few interesting design choices. I can't... Oh, I thought I wasn't going to be able to get under that pipe, but I can. Yes. Okay, well I don't quite know what that did. Ah. I believe these walls, these ceramic tiles, these come from one of the first model packs that was released for FPSC. Not sure if it was Model Pack 1, I think it may have been Model Pack 2. So they do date from quite a while ago, but yeah, I mean they're pretty befitting of the setting here, this sort of medical setting. Ah, okay, right, so there we go, we've come full circle now, we're now back. But have we opened anything? This is what I want to know. I want to know how we actually kind of advance. So we've already been down there.
I'm picking up a heat signal close by where you are. You should
Sam,
have any life signs
breaking
close.
up. Hello?
Is it worth me switching to my gun? I think it might be. Ah, that wasn't open before. Oh my goodness! I mean, I've got my sound turned up way too loud on my headphones. I didn't balance it correctly before I started recording, but I mean, that was quite scary. Right, maintenance corridors. That creature, it looked human. It sounded in pain. Well, they didn't actually make a noise, but never mind. Biotech obviously isn't working on just healthcare. As you enter the maintenance corridors, you can hear a faint growling.
Glad to see you're back. Your signal cut out earlier and I couldn't get a hold of you.
I ran into something. It looked human, but...
But what?
It looked dead though.
A corpse?
Not exactly. Corpses don't move.
What the hell are they hiding?
I'll have to know that myself. This definitely isn't the job I signed up for.
Yeah, exactly. So, that went by a bit too quickly for me to read that loading screen, but you get the general idea. By this point in FPSC's life cycle, we'd had a few horror model packs released, including some sort of horror creatures. We just saw one run past down the end of that hallway. Sort of like a dog with the head of a man. We've seen that in some of our other games, actually, that we've played before on this channel. Might have to start going melee for this. Don't want to waste all my ammo.
This is an audio log for Stuart Vince, June 22nd, 2020. Yet again, I've lost my key card. Wasn't even me that lost it. It was my damn work colleagues. I let them borrow it for one day and they lose it. Typical. Just have to get a new one ordered. I've got to remember to get them to put it in that storage box across from my desk. That way, I'll know where it is if I'm out for lunch. End of log.
You found a key card. Good job. Now you can get access to the doors you usually wouldn't be able to get through. All you have to do is take out your card and swipe the card in front of the reader to gain access. The higher level access of cards you find, the more places you can gain access to.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
A little on the nose, but I guess that kind of makes sense, because they've actually chosen to do the key card as an actual physical object. It's not just like a key like it would be in most FPSC games. Normally you'd come over, pick up an object, it would just disappear, and then it basically just means that you would have access to any door whose key had the same name as the key you just picked up. But in this instance, they've actually chosen to model a key, or a key card. Even got a little swipe animation as well. So this is actually taking up one of the weapons slots. So presumably, if I go up to one of the doors that's locked, I'll have to actually get the key out to use it. Which is a nice touch. Not seen that before. Hey, look at that, it works.
Damn it. Locked.
Looks like the best thing to do is find an alternate route through. Try looking for a ventilation shaft or something you could climb through to get access into the room.
It's like he doesn't know that he's playing an FPSC game. Of course it would be vent crawling that would lead you to the next part of the level. Okay, that was a shorter level than I was expecting. Service rooms. How could biotech get away with this? For so long, not even the people who worked here had any idea of the experiments and the disasters happening. The only way to end this is to find the source of the problem. I'm sure when this demo was released and we were all running sort of Windows 7, those loading screens would have taken a bit longer, but anyway, I don't get a chance to read them now. But I do appreciate the effort of the custom loading screens. What? Okay. So again, long-time viewers of this series will recognise him. Lobotomy, I think he's called, or lobotomist. Anyway, he's yeah, a pretty standard character from around this time. Came in one of the horror packs for FPSC, and I wonder if we'll get to see this guy, the brute, who was some chainsaw wielding baddie. But they're just using his corpse at the moment as a static model. Oh, now we are talking. I mean, just looking at the environment, you can see why FPSC was popular for horror games around this time, because it couldn't do much very well, but what it could do was, you know, render some pretty moody lighting in a sort of a confined space. So it was pretty good for making corridor shooters that were dimly lit. And you had access to kind of add your own sound effects and whatever, so you could tinker with the audio and kind of create a sinister soundscape. And so we got a whole flood of horror games around this time. Some were more popular than others. Okay, I had a bit of an error there with the scope. Oh, okay, it's because it's toggle, not hold. Ah, well there we go then. But, yeah, so weird looking thing. Not sure why that was included in the model pack. It's such an odd creature. That's interesting. I like the way they've changed the footfall sound effect for this blood splat to be liquid. That's pretty gross. Ah. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, so what? Do I need another one? Do I need another keycard? Okay. That's a bit of an issue. I'm going to go looking a bit harder for a keycard. Maybe dropped somewhere, left on a shelf perhaps. Ah, keycard acquired. I'm not sure. That was literally just hidden on the floor in complete shadows. So, yeah. So it's actually replaced the original keycard. I like that mechanic. I've not seen that before. Oh, hello. We have a civilian.
Who are you?
It's you.
What do you want about?
Nothing. I'm Jennifer Kensington. I'm a researcher and genome experimentation scientist.
I'm James Hunt. You must be the one who's sending the distress call, right? Where is everyone?
I don't know. Everyone disappeared suddenly. I couldn't get out of here because I don't have the right access card. I lost it.
This place isn't safe. You shouldn't be hanging around here.
You think I want to be here? I told you I couldn't leave. What part of trap don't you understand? I could hear them screaming out there. I can still hear them.
Calm down. We'll be fine. Listen, I need you to tell me anything and everything you know about this place.
This is where they began to start researching genome experimentation.
Genome experimentation?
Our goal was to extend human life.
By altering DNA?
We were altering the human genome to see if we could reduce aging and health problems, but the genome couldn't control the changes. Instead of prolonging life, it ended it, and prolonged a type of death. The company tried to hide it, but something happened about 2 days ago. Some sort of breakout.
Breakout?
One of the specimens escaped.
What else happened after that?
I wasn't allowed to know. They didn't tell me. Then the lights went out and the doors locked, and I've been here since then. You have a nano radio, right?
Yeah, I'm issued one as member of security.
Here's my channel.
Okay. I'm gonna find out more about this place and what they're doing. Are you coming with me?
I think I'll stay here. I want to find out myself as well. I'll research myself. I'll contact you if I find anything.
Alright. If you stay in here and lock the doors, nothing should be able to get to you.
James, be careful.
Don't worry. I will be.
I like the voice acting in this game. A lot of effort has gone into that. The bridge. That girl. She seemed to know more than what she was letting on. The only way to end all this is to find the one responsible for taking all of this mess too far. And that's as far as I got before we loaded, but yes, I agree. Oh, hang on. The HUD is shimmering. That means something paranormal's about to happen.
Sam, I found the rest of the security team. They're all dead.
Intruder detected.
What?
Dispatching assault specimen.
Sam, what the hell's going on?
5.
Sam, Jennifer, anyone?
Uh-oh. And there you have it. Alpha Project ends on a cliffhanger. I like it. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know whether that was ever released in its entirety, but the 5 levels that we got to play there were pretty interesting and left us on a cliffhanger. I'd certainly like to see where it went. The level design was okay. It was a little bit monochromatic. I think it would have been nice to introduce a little bit more colour in there, and just a bit more visual interest. Some of the sort of offices and rooms just seemed a little bit sterile, which I kind of get because it's a medical facility, but yeah, I don't know, it just lacked a little bit of detail. But then again, I'm kind of viewing that through the lens of me playing it here in 2022. You know, when it was developed in sort of 2010, 2011, maybe that was all sort of FPSC could handle. But it seemed to run pretty well on my system, I think you'll agree, and hopefully it runs well for you too. The audio was really good in that game. The sound design was really immersive, and I'm wearing headphones at the moment, and you know, you had kind of sound effects coming from left and from right, and the voice acting I thought was really good. A lot of FPSC games really fall flat on the voice acting, but they really put a lot of effort into that, and yeah, it sounded great. And yeah, the gameplay was fine. I liked the key swipe mechanic. I think you can probably tell that I mentioned it earlier in the review. But yeah, that's a little bit original, and just the execution of that. They could have gone with something much simpler, and it would have been, you know, would have had the same effect. But I think it makes it more immersive to actually have that card and to see it in your hand and to have to pick up the right card for the right door. I think yeah, that was done really well. And the audio logs were pretty good as well, just kind of being able to find out little extra bits of information about what was going on. Obviously, you know, none of these things are unique to this game. They've all been kind of ripped from... they're all ideas that have been ripped from other games in the past, but nice to see them implemented very competently in an FPSC game. So, yeah, I mean, it probably does deserve its best of the best title, because I did think that was a really good horror game. I suppose it could have done with some slightly unique enemies, because we've played a lot of these games now and they all had the same enemies, basically. They all come from that kind of horror creatures pack or whatever it was. So it would have been cool to kind of see something a bit different. I don't know, they mentioned chimpanzees in the prologue, so it would have been cool to have something perhaps a little bit more, not like a chimpanzee obviously, but like some sort of primate or something a little bit more animalistic rather than quite humanoid like a lot of those enemies were. So but no, I thought it was good. So if you'd like to try Alpha Project, I will put a link in the description, and yeah, please do put some headphones in, turn off the lights, and enjoy the horror, because it's good. So thanks for joining me for this episode, and join me again next time when we look forward to playing another FPS Creator Classic. Cheers, bye.